Hey, I'm Jess. I'm here with THS. And today I'm going to be talking to the new man behind the Magic Flute as opposed to the old man behind the Magic Flute, Mozart. Florian, how are you doing today?
Very well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Perfect. Just to get the ball rolling here, what made you want to bring Mozart's opera to life?
I think Mozart's a really unique composer who managed to create melodies that reach everyone emotionally. Wherever you come from, whatever your background is, I think there's a Mozart piece that will touch you and touch you emotionally. And that was something I always knew. It happened to myself as well. It got me inspired. That's the reason why I started studying music. And that's something that, I always wanted to create myself as well. Something that, with using Mozart's music and inspiring other people.
Absolutely. And is the Magic Flute like a favorite Mozart piece of yours? Because you were just saying that everybody has the one that they're drawn to.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that there's several pieces from Mozart that I really like, but the Magic Flute is for sure one of them. And there's some moments in there I adore the overture. So at the beginning of it, there's the areas of the Queen of the Night are simply unique and amazing, and some other moments in there as well. So, and it's probably I think it's the best known opera Mozart wrote and the one that's performed the most, and so it's really beloved.
Absolutely. And obviously, the opera has its own story structure. And like you said, people have been performing this for years and years and years. How did you decide to go with this sort of story within a story structure for the movie?
So I thought that well, where I started was two aspects. One was what's the Magic Flute known for? So what are the beloved moments? What are the moments everybody knows, like the Queen of the Night, for example, or the Papageno aria and things like that. And the other one was when you actually go to the opera and you watch the Magic Flute, it's quite a weird story. It starts off kind of reasonable, and it's like, okay, this prince has to save the princess and there's an evil queen, but then there's like an hour of confusion, an old man singing, I don't know what happens. And I thought, okay, that's maybe okay if you're in an opera, but from a movie maker's perspective, we have to tell a story. We have to go deeper in the characters and give the audience something they can work on and that entertains them in movie aspects. So I thought, okay, my big goal was to reach a young audience with classical music. And if we manage to just inspire a few, I think our job's done. But to get them there, I always thought you need something like an entryway, something that leads the audience into that story. And that's why we came up with that frame story, because I thought, okay, that's something everybody knows, a boarding school story. Salzburg, where Mozart comes from, where Sound of Music is, happens. And so I thought, okay, that's actually a nice intro, something everybody hopefully can agree on, and then slowly we lead them into the opera. And it's a little bit like, if you go to a real concert and you try to bring younger people in there, it's really difficult. You don't know, where do you actually buy those tickets? What do you wear? When do you clap? Why are they all so serious? All these things. So I thought, okay, at least in the movie version of it, let's create something that's easily approachable. And that's why there's this frame story.
Definitely. I love that. And I think you succeeded because I agree opera is wonderful, but it is something that is a little difficult for the average
Yeah,
person to figure out
really.
how to get into. Mhm.
Yeah.
When you're talking about blending these two worlds together and focusing
Yeah.
on, this outside story with the boarding school and the kids figuring out music and then bringing in this fantasy world of the Magic Flute, how do you balance those and bring them together?
I tried to dig for the similarities in the two worlds thematically, and I realized that most operas are actually about love. So it's love is always a big thing, be it Carmen or be it Figaro's Wedding or be it Magic Flute. Love's important. And the other thing is very often in operas as well is finding your position in society, like in the Magic Flute, a prince and a princess, but it's not important that he's a prince. Nonetheless, or in Don Giovanni, it's a servant and an aristocrat, or it's always, and finding your position in society is kind of, it's actually nowadays it's called coming of age. It's like you're realizing that you have a responsibility and that you have the opportunity actually nowadays to find your position. And that's what F. Murray in his very first scene addresses, is like he thinks that you don't have a freedom and there's not a choice where in society you're going to be. It's all, decided for you. And I think those are the two core themes of the movie as well as of the opera, is love in all its form and finding your specific spot in society.
Definitely. And then you have this really interesting cast that you built out too, because we have, I think, most, if not everyone, has stage experience, but we do have people who are professional opera singers and some people who are better known for their screen acting. So, what was it like sort of directing those different groups of people and bringing them together in this one story?
Oh, that was really amazing, an amazing experience to have such a big ensemble. And what I tried to do, I approached the task as a director, was I really wanted to understand what kind of technique every actor is using, what their background is, so that I can build the perfect platform for them so that they can perform. Which means obviously with the opera actors, I needed to workshop with them and explain them, okay, there's not a live audience. You don't have to overact because they're 20 meters away, or it's actually for the camera, and let's workshop on that. And for the younger cast, for example, I had to get used to be in front of camera with an Academy Award winner and taking away the fear of underperforming or whatever. So we had to rehearse there a little bit more. And it was a pure joy. F. Murray is like, in terms from a technical aspects as an actor, he's amazing. He's perfect. He's like, never experienced an actor who's so on spot and and I tried to motivate the younger cast and told them, like, look at him, it's just a joy to be there. And then he played with that as well. So really trying to find out what do they need. Or another interesting moment was like Iwan, who plays Papageno, approached me on his second shooting day. It's like, Fleur, what's new on that set? And I was like, no, I don't know what's new. It was like, I'm actually one of the oldest actors here, because that was a Magic Flute one. I was like, yeah, I mean, I hope you don't mind. It was like, you know what? I'll take care of the younger ones. Just want to let you know. So I'll take care of them and I'll help them and I'll guide them. And I thought it's important for you to know. And that was an amazing moment as well, where you saw, okay, so they're coming from all different directions, but what united us was um, they're all artists and they all wanted to perform. And my job as a director was to build them a stage, a platform where they can perform best.
I think you succeeded. I think it looked good. And this may be a difficult question, but if you had to choose, is there a specific scene or a sequence that really stands out to you in the film as something that you're most proud of? Maybe it was something that was difficult to shoot or that just really matched your initial vision when you finally saw it.
I think it's the two areas of the Queen of the Night, because I wasn't scared of that, but let's say I was aware of the responsibility I have shooting visuals to such a famous area, and that's why we really put a lot of time in developing it and also shooting it, and I really like it because I think Sabine is amazing, and she has an amazing screen presence, even as an opera singer, and designing those two scenes was really cool, and I really enjoyed that, and I think so from what I heard so far, it has some impact, so people like those scenes. So
No, for sure. That's one of my favorite moments, so good choice.
yeah, which other did you have any other favorite moment?
I think just because of the surprise factor, I really liked when the big snake came out because I wasn't expecting that like in this like specific kind of film. I was like, oh, we're doing like full on like big fantasy stuff. That's really fun. So that one stood out
Okay, cool.
specifically. What is going to be next for you? Do you have any more Mozart operas planned in the future? Are you taking a new direction? What's next?
So what I really enjoyed was working internationally with that international cast. That was a great experience, and also experiencing the professionalism of the American movie making system. So I love telling coming of age stories. I love creating new worlds. I'm working on several shows at the moment, mainly American ones. Let's see which ones of those actually really happen, and one or two movies. Um, but I think, yeah, like discovering a new world with characters that are in the process of finding their position. That's something I'd really love to do and repeat.
Awesome. And final question, why
Of
should
course,
everybody check out the Magic Flute?
because I think it's 2 hours of joy and brilliant entertainment for the whole family, and that's something our our life isn't that easy, and the last years haven't been that easy. I think people deserve some escapism, just a good time, beautiful music, and some great entertainment.
Perfect. Couldn't say it better than that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.